I've recently realized that I've spent pretty much my entire life living in a heightened state of arousal, as far as my nervous system has been hypervigilant since I was a very young child. The reason for that was, a toxic home environment. My mom remarried my stepdad, and they just were very toxic together, and it created a pretty rough home environment. So the last 6 months, many of you know, my aunt passed away 6 months ago, and I cared for her for the last almost 5 years. It was 4 years and 10 months where I was her primary caregiver as she was living with Alzheimer's dementia. And so since she's passed, I've committed to taking a year from her passing to really focus on healing myself, on becoming well. I've lived with fibromyalgia, chronic pain, chronic depression, major depressive disorder, PTSD, right? I've had all these things, PCOS, and living with my aunt was hard, but it also forced me to stay home a lot, because that's where she wanted to be, her home. But now her home is my home. And so I've taken 6 months so far to just process a lot of things and really move forward in my life at the same time. Like, I'm living in California, where I've wanted to return to ever since I was a young child and my mom and stepdad moved us away. I've wanted to return to California. And here I am. I'm living in the home that was my safe place. My entire childhood and teenage years, this home, right, was my safe place. My grandparents were here, my dad was here, my aunt was here. This was where I was unconditionally loved and supported. And for me, it feels so good to be home. At the same time, I'm sorting through boxes and boxes of stuff that all belong to people who are now gone. So, I'm finding school textbooks that belong to my great-great-grandfather, and, watches and pins and just all these family heirlooms, and I'm doing it by myself. I was hopeful my sister would come and spend some time going through some stuff with me, but that hasn't worked out. And so I'm doing it by myself, and really there's no one left to travel this journey with me who was part of that journey, right? So it's a lot of good stuff happening, but at the same time some emotional stuff happening, and really my commitment to stay focused and stay present. And I think for a lot of us who are on healing journeys, that is probably the most important thing you can do whenever you feel yourself getting triggered, right? Because when we've been through trauma, there are things that trigger a highly emotional response from us. And being able to switch from that fight or flight feeling that comes when we get those triggers, and getting back into our rational now mind is a skill, and it takes practice. So I've been getting a lot of practice over the last 5 years while I was here caring for my aunt, and with my aunt gone, it's at a different level now, but I'm getting lots of practice learning how to stay present, and it takes intention to do that, and it's not always easy, but I am so grateful. My heart is so full of love for where I came from, right? For the legacy that my dad's family has left behind, that is for me to carry on, right? This legacy of love and compassion and doing good, because that's what's important. It's not always easy to do the right thing, but we do the right thing because it's just right. And that's what we do for family, especially, right? We take care of each other. And part of taking care of each other is learning how to take care of ourselves and setting appropriate, safe boundaries within the family unit if there have been unsafe things happening within the family. My family my mom is a wonderful person and she's so creative and she has this heart of gold, but she also was a hurt person and was in a terribly toxic, emotionally abusive relationship with my stepfather, and they fed off each other, and it created this really chaotic, traumatic home environment. And I had a phone call with one of my sisters the other night, and she was just talking about how much she misses, her family, because she has a strained relationship with a lot of us. And we shared some stories, and now I'm like processing the things she shared, like her memories and what's real for her, and there was some pretty awful stuff, right? And it's just kind of had me out of sorts for the last day or two since I spoke with her. Just really having compassion for what she's gone through, but not letting her story dictate my feelings. For those who are empaths, when we are emotionally connected to people, we feel things differently, and it takes a lot of practice. And maybe this is just a trauma thing, I don't know, but learning how to accept what's yours and let go of the rest is kind of hard to do sometimes when you're the one who used to try and make it better for everyone. So I've been sitting with my sister's story and having compassion for her story, but also not letting it knock me on my butt, right? And it's hard because I love my sister. I love my mom. I love all my sisters and my little brother and, my family of origin. I love them all very much. But we're not close, and for lots of reasons, and the reasons don't matter. I love them, but it has to be from a distance for my own emotional safety and for theirs too, I think. But it's just been really interesting to look at that. And today I'm just sitting with that. I had a really busy, fun day yesterday, and so today my fibros flared, and I'm like too much pain to go do anything really, and just really fatigued. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. It's now 9:30, so I've already been awake for 5 hours, and I kind of feel like I need a nap. But I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I'm here and that I can be having these thoughts and emotions. And mostly, I'm just grateful to be here in the present moment when I catch my little monkey mind spinning off to, the past events or, future what ifs. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here in this moment. I'm here exactly where I want to be. I have my cute little doggie who keeps me company, and I have all these cats. In fact, I just the other day adopted another cat because we had a friend who passed away, and she left behind three cats, and so I was able to bring one into my home. So I'm up to 6 cats now. But she's doing great. She's finally coming out of her shell and exploring around a little bit and not hissing at everyone who looks at her, so that's good. Yeah, it's just got a lot going on, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that I'm able to welcome Sarah's cat into my home and that she can be a part of our family now. I'm grateful that I have these amazing friends and connections here in California, and that life is good, right? Life is beautiful and wonderful, and there are so many fun things yet to discover. And I'm enjoying the journey, even though sometimes it's emotionally draining and exhausting. I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's where I'm at today, living in gratitude. And we'll see what tomorrow brings, right?